2022.
Oh my God.
Boom.
I guess we did do a video, but we've not done a podcast,
Not a podcast
recording.
No one has been updated on the incredible events of my life.
I know, and that's what the people need, I feel, is like, what's Matt Steele been up to?
Everything.
You better have something to say, because when I asked you how you were like, fine.
Do I have anything to say?
I don't know. I hope you think of something soon, because, TikTok.
I am fine.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that you're doing fine.
During the whole like production and post-production of Devos, the other producer would make fun of me because I always said everything was fine. Like if I was satisfied with something, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. and he'd be like, what does fine mean? What is fine? Like he thought that like fine meant something like passive aggressive. And I'm like, no, it means that I'm happy with it. Like it's fine. And he was always gets so nervous when I hear fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of your thing. You never say you're doing well or like things are great. Everything's fine.
Well, it's not like I just won an Oscar or something. Like
you won a Golden Globe. There's no way we'd know.
We would know. There was an announcement.
It could have been tweeted out.
Yes, it could have.
From a private event.
And I would have been like, this is fine.
This is fine.
Just kidding. I would have been like, I'm not showing up to do the podcast today. I'm too excited.
Oh, well, that didn't happen.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
If I don't show up in the podcast next year, it's because I won a Golden Globe.
Okay.
Welcome back to another 2Gay Matt's podcast. It's Matt Steele.
And it's Matt Palmer.
And it is the first podcast of 2022 with me.
Yes.
Thank you, Janie.
Former host Matt Steele.
Former host Matt Steele has returned, has made a comeback. I am Lisa Kudrow.
Oh, you really are.
Guys, I got it. I made it here in one piece.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Janie, for keeping the seat warm.
Yes, she did a lovely job last week.
Yes, she really did.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. We got to have her more often.
I mean, she's a comedian. Like,
yes.
It's in her blood. But yes, we need to have her more often. Mostly meaning I need to get a third mic for her to hold in the video and like for us to do all of this with. But it's feasible. It's possible. She lives 5 minutes away from me right now. So it's easier for her to get here than you to get here.
Absolutely. I have to like climb up the mountains, trek through miles of snow.
You're so brave.
I make it every single week, except for the past several weeks. But you know what? I also think it's funny how in the last podcast I was on where we were recording separately, I was like, if anyone messes up the next podcast, it's going to be me. And what did I do? I messed it up. I forgot to pack my microphone.
Oh, right. Well, wait, why did you say anything could have been messed up in the next podcast? I don't even remember that conversation.
I was just predicting. I was just thinking ahead.
You're right. I wish you had thought ahead when packing the microphone, but alas.
No.
Here we all
are. And I'm glad that I didn't pack the microphone because my suitcase traveling at the airport was exactly 50 pounds. And if anything else was in it, I would have had to pay $100.
Oh, wait. When I got to the airport to fly home, my suitcase was 55 pounds.
Oh, girl, what did you throw out of there?
That is so much. And luckily, I brought my workout stuff home. Did I work out? Not once.
No.
But that included a bag. And so I just pulled the bag out, started packing heavy shit into it. By the time I was done, my back was hurting. And they were like, it's 45 pounds. And I was like, oh, I took too I think I've taken too much out.
Hey, you know what? It's good to be over enthusiastic.
Exactly.
And you're trying to save $100.
Because you know what I was not going to do.
Pay $100.
I literally was like, I will take off a limb before I pay $100 to get on this motherfucking flight.
It's really aggressive how they're just like, if it is 1 ounce over,
crazy.
It is $100.
I will say on the way back from Chicago, I think the bag was 51, and I kind of looked at the lady, and she looked at me, and she's like, "You're free to go."
Okay, like, man.
Great, I love you, Queen. I was turned into JVN and really
love her. What airline was that?
It was United. I think I flew on Delta and then American and then United. I think United on the last stretch, but I did all of them. Just because what was the cheapest? That
exactly,
was all we were looking for.
I don't have one that I'm loyal to at all. I am loyal to whichever is the cheapest except for Spirit.
I've made my mistakes with Spirit, never again. But Southwest is cheap, but I feel like does a better job. And they give you that first bag checked free, which I love.
Southwest, I feel like doesn't fly to Jersey anymore because like I never see it on my radar when I look for flights.
I think some of them you actually have to go to the Southwest site and double check because some of it won't pop up when you do the Google search for flights sometimes. But I will say since I've been flying like in a post-COVID, whatever that means, but post pre-vaccination, I have not found a good flight on Southwest either. They've all been like, do you want a layover in Texas? And I'm like, no, I don't do layovers. I'm 30 something.
I do layovers sometimes.
I do not. Oh, could you imagine? I guess you say you do, so I can't imagine. That's what I'm saying. But Matt Steele, since you're back in the chair with the people, How have you been?
I've been great.
Good.
I obviously went to Jersey for the holidays, spent 2 weeks there.
Yeah.
I saw more people this Christmas break than I saw last Christmas break.
I love that.
Did I see many people? No.
But hey.
It's funny, like, so many people who it's not like so many, like I saw so many people, but like people who I saw literally like 2 days after I saw them, I would get an announcement being like, I was exposed. And then another announcement from someone else being like, I was exposed.
Did you get tested since I last saw you?
Yes.
Okay, great. We should have opened with that. But
yes, I am fine.
Great.
And so there came a point in the middle of being home where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to see anyone else.
I think that's wise. Even though, like, are we going to get it? Probably.
We all have it.
We all have it or have had it, but at least if we've had it, we've been asymptomatic.
And you know, the vaccines, it just shows that this whole wave is just showing that the vaccines work. So please get them if you have not.
Yes,
get boosted. Oh
my God, the booster. The thing is, we were right on time with the booster. Pre-Omicron, before everyone was really trying to get a booster, we had one already, even though supposedly they only last 10 weeks. So I'm like,
10 weeks?
That's what I heard.
Who gave you that?
The internet, guys, where we learn everything. But I just counting it because when it was definitely November at some point. So
mine was October. I got my booster.
That's different than mine. So
gotta go, everyone.
Yeah, we'll look that up and we'll all be okay. But what have you been up to since being back? Anything fun?
No. just working and, you know, living my life, trying to survive. Obviously, like not seeing anyone except for you and the people who I work with.
Yes.
So that's been nice. It's been a very chill time. And now I'm really like hunkering down, being like, we're making this apartment beautiful because I have more time now.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw my mom sent me this like metal stool thing. And she's like, gee, like it's got like birds on it and pink flowers. And I'm like, yes, I like this. I will buy this.
Oh, nice. That's amazing.
I haven't bought it yet, but I will.
You see, I got that rug in there.
Ooh, I've seen that online in my search for rugs.
They're cute. That's one of the white rugs that is kind of fuzzy and have the X pattern kind of big. I'm really like, this is honestly a room that like mostly I am in. It is my office area. And so I'm like, since I have freedom, I don't have to like, you know, make sure Jackson's on board with it. I'm like, I want to make it my little West Elm oasis, even though everything's not from West Elm because it's too expensive. But that's the theme is West Elm of the room. And so I don't have, because Jackson likes the quirky and character. And like, we don't need that. We just need sleep.
Not in that room over there that the people cannot see.
That's exactly. But one day they might be seeing it because we'll see what happens in the future. But
when we get our own reality show.
Hey, that's true. That's true. I'm trying to think. Oh,
yeah. What have you done? How's your life been this past week?
My life has been similarly pretty low key. I forgot to tell Janie, but I will tell you. I did start because it's January and, you know, it's a whole new time of year and I guess a whole new year. We're doing Whole30.
Oh, that's January. Right. Yeah, you said that.
So on the 3rd, the Monday, we cut out all added sugars, all like, I think it's grains and wheats and no alcohol and all of this. And so we are discovering how to do that and figuring out what snacks are. Because I'm like, am I truly just eating a slice of deli meat right now? Yes, is the answer. Because like when you only have certain things available to you, deli meat's gonna be the snack.
You know what? You look amazing. Your cholesterol's probably like, what's happening?
I know.
But you look great.
I'm telling you, the first couple of days, I wasn't happy. I think because we had talked about it, but we had not really planned it. And I thought we were gonna just like not do it. And then Jackson's like, okay, so let's start tomorrow. And I like wasn't mentally or grocery wise prepared.
Oh yeah.
And so all of my Quest bars that I eat for snacks are not on the list of acceptable things. And so I'm like, wait, what do I snack on? And he's not really a snacker. And I need to be grazing throughout the day. Like I like a meal, of course, but like I'm a grazer. And so we just weren't prepared for what snacks were. And so I was like, out of sorts. My body was like very tired, being like, where's the sugar? But now I feel like we've evened out. I feel more even keeled.
That's good.
And I think it'll be a good thing. It's like, you know, I'm not like, trying to like lose weight or whatever, but it's just like after the holidays, eat so much shit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Just eat so much garbage that it's like, I could reset my body a little bit.
Oh, especially when I go to New Jersey. I live in Los Angeles, people. And so I am so deprived of Italian food. And so going to New Jersey, all I do is I'm just like, take me to anyone whose name ends in an O or an A or like whatever with an apostrophe S on there.
Yeah.
Like I need to eat nothing but Italian food when I'm in New Jersey. And then after 2 weeks being home in New Jersey for the holidays, I'm always like, you know, I think I'm done. My body's just like, ooh.
I know. Because it's a shock. And I had 6 cakes for 6 people.
And you're a cake person. When I heard about all those cakes, I was like, whoa.
I wasn't going to say no to a cake.
No, you're a cake girl.
I'm a cake girl. Ice cream, don't need her. Cake? Yes. So yes, that's what we're doing. That's what's happening. And I feel like we've evened out since the start of last week. So we love that.
I can't wait for you to give the people an update on that.
I can't wait.
Week by week.
Honestly, what I might do is when I am just getting off it, maybe we'll do a podcast where I'm like sipping champagne a little throughout because my tolerance will be so low. And so that could be fun for people. And you'll just have to deal with it.
You'll just get drunker and drunker throughout the entire podcast.
Wasted. And then by the end of the podcast, I'll just be asleep, which is my cool drunk move.
And he'll be like dead next to me, and I'll be like, Matt Palmer, wake up! How do you figure out this like sound system? I need to stop.
Also, asleep was the word I used, and you used dead, which I don't want for me.
Either or, you could be one or the other.
Please don't let me die on camera.
Whenever anyone's asleep, they could either be asleep or dead.
That's one way to look at it, I guess. So wait, should we hop into News for Idiots?
I guess let's hop into News for Idiots.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So apparently, according to your Twitter, and the only way I would know about this is because of your Twitter, the Golden Globes are happening as we speak.
No, they happened.
They happened.
Like about, an hour and a half ago or whatever. They were done through a press conference because, as we all know, the Golden Globes ceremony was canceled, I guess, this year because of, the scandal revolving around the HFPA and things that were going on with that. So this is the year they were like, we're going to take a breather, reconfigure, and, just have a press conference and announce the winners that way.
All right. Looks like West Side Story won 3 Golden Globes tonight.
Yes.
I love that.
It won Supporting Actress. It won Best Motion Picture in a Musical Comedy.
Yes.
Musical / comedy.
Right.
Obviously.
And won Best Actress.
And it won Best Leading Actress.
Wow.
Yeah. Rachel beat Alana Haim.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see Licorice Pizza?
Not yet, because I have a friend who we have a thing where we always see Paul Thomas Anderson movies together. Oh. And she's very much like, ooh, I'd want to go to the movies in a couple weeks after, the numbers go down. So I'm like, okay, but I really want to see
That's
Licorice
really
Pizza.
nice of you for waiting for her. I feel like that's very kind.
I'm a great friend.
You're a great friend. I mean, again, I haven't seen the film, but I've only seen, not that it is bad, but like bad press about like, apparently there's some like anti-Asian something happening. There's like an Asian group that's upset with Licorice Pizza. And then also the second thing I read is that it's about a love story between a teenager and an adult.
Like she is 25 and he's supposed to be 15.
Okay.
And I from what I know, I haven't seen it, but from what I know is like this, apparently there's a moment where someone makes fun of Asians or something, but it's not portrayed in a good light.
Got it.
Apparently. Okay. So I don't know. I'll see it and get back to you on that.
Please let me know if it's problematic.
Yeah.
MJ Rodriguez won for Pose. Oh my gosh.
First transgender actress to win a Golden Globe for acting, or first transgender person to win a Golden Globe, period, I think.
Best performance by an actress in television series drama. Wow, that's really amazing. Good for her.
Yes.
Encanto won something.
Yes, The Power of the Dog won. Encanto won Best Animated Feature. Power of the Dog won Best Director and Best Motion Picture Drama. Belfast won Best Screenplay. What else happened? It's just funny because there was on Twitter, people were laughing about it. The Golden Globes were tweeting everything that won, and the person said, and the Twitter said, oh, if laughing is the best medicine, then West Side Story is your best thing to watch to cure your ailments or whatever. And people were kind of like, it's not a comedy.
I was going to say.
And so people were making fun of it. And I'm just like, and of course, like I laughed about it, but I was like, you know what, guys, the person tweeting this is some really low paid intern.
Exactly.
Like, give them a break. And then they deleted the tweet and they changed it to if music is the best medicine. And it's like, this fits.
That's better. Yeah. That's better. We love that for them.
I just love how the Golden Globes, even without a ceremony, are still providing a little bit of mess.
I was going to say, they're still a mess. And good for them.
And a shocking win, Kristen Stewart, who was like the awards darling of the season for Spencer, was beaten by Nicole Kidman for being the Ricardos for Best Leading Actress in a Drama.
Still talking about being the Ricardos, I guess, after The Feud was announced last week.
I love how Jamie didn't like being the Ricardos, and you were like, Matt Steele loves that movie.
He's obsessed. He's getting it tattooed on his body.
I'm not obsessed with the movie. I just like really liked it.
Well,
so I hope me and Janie aren't feuding.
It sounds like you are. Like if I were to guess, and also I got a DM from a friend saying they also didn't like being the Ricardos.
Oh no!
And we had a comment on YouTube saying they didn't like being the Ricardos.
That's right.
So
I don't understand. I enjoyed it very much.
Yes, it's the new Don't Look Up. Very divisive film.
Well, which I actually watched yesterday.
How did you like it?
I enjoyed it.
Great.
Yeah, you need to see Being the Ricardos, I guess, to be like the tiebreaker.
I saw part of it. Like it was on while I was home, and so I would like look at the TV. Does that kind of sing it?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, maybe I'll see it.
Yeah. But, you know, I hope the Golden Globes are back next year because they're fun.
Yeah.
Like they're just a big old party where people are in that room drunk and
and Gene Smart won.
and Gene Smart won for Hacks.
You know I liked Hacks.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Oh, and my king, Michael Keaton, won for Best Actor in a limited series anthology for television for
what show?
Dope
Sick. I've
Dope
heard
Sick.
of the show. I've not watched it. I think my mom watches it.
Okay.
We love that.
We love, you know, I love Michael Keaton. Have not seen the show, but I love Michael Keaton. That's my man.
Well, and it's going to be a hard left turn, but did you see Bob Saget?
Oh my God.
65. And they said, I mean, at least we'll see what happens in the coming days because they have not released the cause of death. If you haven't heard, Bob Saget passed away at 65. He was found, I think, in a Florida hotel room unresponsive.
Yes.
And at least what I heard, I think it was a tweet from the police department, said that drugs were not involved, which is kind of the first thing you would think. Because 65 is not old. Like, this isn't like a Betty White situation.
It's not
like,
old, but I mean, you know, Bob Saget is a man of a certain age. And I feel like men, you know, in the 50 to 70 range, they just die sometimes. Like, it's crazy, you know, whatever, there could have been something with his heart or who knows, you know, it's really, really upsetting. I mean, it's so sad because anyone dying is sad, but like it's crazy to think like, oh, the father figures in television that now the millennials had are dying. Like it's like I'm not ready for this.
I know.
Like I'm used to, you know, people older.
Right.
But this was just because he was such a prevalent figure in anyone's life who owned a television in the 90s.
If you were a kid and in the 90s, you watched Full House.
Yes.
Was it good? Who knows? But you watched it, and Bob Saget was the dad. He just like was always going to be the dad figure, and so the idea of him dying is weird in that way. And like, you know, I think he'd obviously done a lot. I think he had a podcast and, you know, it kind of reinvented himself in later years and like had quite the career going.
Oh, I mean, well, he was also the host of America's Funniest Home Videos in the 90s, which was a huge show. Yes. So he was just on your TV all the time. And he's very well known for being, his sense of humor as a comedian was always very raunchy.
Yes.
And so when he was cast in Full House, he was just like, oh, what?
Oh, I didn't think that. I thought he like was kind of straight laced, and then afterwards became raunchy as like a reaction.
No, his humor was always raunchy before Full House, and then but of course he wasn't like hugely famous before Full House, and then it's just funny that he always thought it was funny that the thing that made him famous was the most sugary sweet like not family friendly thing and everything. Yeah. And then afterwards, you know, he has such a good attitude about Full House and everything, but still he would like make fun of that fact. He was also on Broadway in The Drowsy Chaperone as the man in the chair. Okay. He closed the show out. I believe it's a role that was created by Bob Martin, and Bob Martin just tweeted, and I was like, how at closing night, like Bob Saget, like grabbed him and like cried like with him backstage because he was so excited to be in a Broadway musical. Like he apparently always wanted to do this. I mean, like the saddest, scariest thing is he literally performed yesterday.
Yeah,
in
apparently
a show.
He was in the middle of a comedy tour.
Yeah, it's like it's devastating and like hard. I believe he had 4 kids. I saw he has 4 kids and he's married. It's so devastating.
It's just sad.
Yeah, and other deaths. Sidney Poitier.
I saw that
passed away a couple days ago. Which and he was 94, so that wasn't as shocking.
But like, what an important figure. He was the first Black actor to win Best Actor at the.
Yes, he's the first Black actor to win an Oscar. To win male actor to win an acting Oscar.
It just is crazy. It's like, I feel like, at least Sidney Poitier, I don't know that I've ever seen a film of his, excuse me. You know, I don't love an old movie, but I feel like he was winning Lifetime Achievements Awards for my entire life. Like every other award show I watched, he would win something. I remember when Denzel won his Oscar, he like dedicated it to him because I think Sidney won a Lifetime Achievement the same year. It just is like, it's just sad. Yeah, I mean, his filmography is really great. Obviously, like he won the Oscar for Lilies of the Field, but he's in so many great movies. The Heat of the Night won Best Picture in 1967. I've always really liked A Patch of Blue, like obviously A Raisin in the Sun. Obviously, and it just I feel like, you know, he broke so many barriers for everyone that it's just. When a legend that huge passes away, you just have to just
you're in awe of it. I mean, it's the same thing with Betty White. It's just, you're just in awe of this person.
It just feels like we're 9 days into 2022.
I know.
And there's been so much of this. Like, I hate when our weeks are like, let's list the people who's passed away this week. But I know.
And also a personal one, Peter Bogdanovich passed away. He was a director. I believe he was in his 80s, and he made the films Paper Moon and like a movie that means a lot to me, The Last Picture Show. It was kind of like, I remember watching The Last Picture Show when I was in middle school, and it was kind of my realization of like cinema, like at that point, not just like movies, but like I remember seeing The Last Picture Show for the first several times because I would watch it like once a month when I was younger, and being like, I don't know if I fully understand this, but I'm so fascinated by this, and I want to watch it over and over again. Obviously, it won Best Supporting Actress for Cloris Leachman, who also just recently died, and Ben Johnson won Best Supporting Actor for it. But it's an amazing film. If you haven't, it's always been one of my favorites. So check it out if you can.
What, can you stream it? Is it streamable?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, well.
I think I have the DVD in my apartment.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, if you want to borrow it, baby.
We'll see.
It's a long movie.
I was going to say, how long is it? Give me the runtime.
It's like 2.5 hours.
Well, speaking of award shows, the Grammys are officially and indefinitely postponed.
Okay.
I mean, yes, they were going to be, a full house inside at the end of the month, and that was a good move.
Push it back a month. See what happens. Especially, I think it was because the people nominated and the celebrities and everything were very much like, we don't feel comfortable doing this, and obviously the Grammys expanded the categories so more celebrities could come. Lord knows they wanted Kanye and Taylor in the same room at the same time.
We don't need that.
I mean, that's why they were nominated. I feel so.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So push it back a month. We got time.
I just want to make sure. And Olivia Rodrigo recently posted a video, I think a couple of days after writing Driver's License, just being like, happy anniversary to the song that changed my life. And I just still want good things for her, of course, but still want her to like receive her awards. I hope it's not postponed to the point where like by the time it rolls around, no one cares about it. Because I have a feeling Olivia's going to win a lot of big things that night. And I just want us all to celebrate the giant year she's had.
I think people will still care. I don't foresee them pushing it back that far. Like, I don't foresee them pushing it back like 8 months.
I will see. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But yes, I suppose we will watch it when it comes out. And the thing is, okay, guys, I wrote this news story down thinking I was going to listen to it before we talked about it, but I didn't. I've heard the new The Weeknd album. It's very good. The new single is called Sacrifice. He debuted an album called Dawn FM, and I think the whole, theme of it is like, oh, it's a radio station and like blah, blah, blah. So he had a big live stream on Amazon Music, I believe, and just kind of released the album out of nowhere. I think he said it the Monday, being like, oh, maybe we'll just release the whole album on Friday with the single and everything. And so I personally have never been a big The Weeknd fan because, his vocal tone. But I respect the fact that musically he's done some incredible things, worked with, incredible artists. It seems like he's really running the gamut of collaborators here. I think he works with Quincy Jones. So on top of like the Max Martins, I think Swedish House Mafia, like he just has a lot of people, stretching their boundaries, a lot of collaborations that you wouldn't expect to see on one album. So even though personally for me, I have a hold up with him, I'm going to go into this week and just ask me about this next week.
Okay.
I'm going to listen to it with the most open mind and open heart as I can because I hear good things. I want to like him. It's hard for me, but I think I'm going to make the best college try I can.
Okay. Look at this. Trying new things. Whole 30, The Weeknd.
And these are the new things I'm trying in 2022.
Yes.
He is my Whole 30 musically. So tell me below which songs you guys love from that album and if you think there's a chance that I will like it too.
Okay. We're going to put our predictions down. Yes. We're going to bet money on it.
Please. Well, Adele's new single, oh my God, officially, No Longer I Drink Wine. The video comes out on Wednesday at 9 a.m. for whatever reason. And she has shown some teasers. I think there's a very quick teaser video. She posted a picture of herself holding like an apple, looking like, an evil Disney villain.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, you know what? Oh my God, indeed.
Oh my God.
I'm excited. I'm interested. I wonder what the video is going to be.
Am I interested enough to have to wake up super early to drive up to Matt Palmer's to react to the music video? I don't know, but hopefully this is one damn great music video because I do not like waking up.
No. But I mean, I hope it's good. The song is still great. It's one of those songs where look at that though.
Ooh, that is a nice.
That's a good video.
Oh my God.
That's a good picture.
Oh my God.
I hope it's in color, the video. You never know. I love that that's like the thing I'm excited about. Maybe it'll be in color.
Ooh, the last picture show is not in color. You might not like it.
Well, another reason I might skip it. And this I just want to talk about because I remember how much I loved Scream 4.
You did love Scream 4 a lot.
And how I thought a certain person who I won't say because maybe they were the killer deserved an Oscar.
Okay. And I remember after I saw it, Matt Brown was like, how did you like it? And I was like, I liked it. I thought it was really good. And he was just like, this person deserves an Oscar. And I was like, okay.
I feel like you didn't feel the same way.
I guess I have to watch it again.
You should.
Yeah, but I remember being like, yeah, they're good.
But I feel like, there's a new Scream coming out. You'd think it was called Scream 5, but it's just called Scream.
No.
And apparently the early reviews have come out and they said it's the best Scream since the first one.
I hear it's getting really great reviews.
It's getting excellent early reviews.
I remember watching the first Scream in Las Vegas when I was visiting my dad for the summer, and he put on Scream, and I just remember like 30 seconds in, just the blanket was over my face, and I was just like, absolutely not. I will not look at a frame of this.
How old were you?
Oh God, I don't know, like 11.
Oh yeah, that's
maybe.
Young.
And I was just like, nope. And I am not like, I like scary movies, but I was like, this is too scary for me. And then I would say like 20 minutes in, I fell asleep. I remember like the blanket over my, like waking up at one point and hearing sex sounds, but I couldn't see because the blanket was over my head.
Yes. That I feel like I am not a horror movie person, but Scream I feel like is the only horror franchise that I've watched. I think I've watched all of those films.
Really? I've only seen the first, or I've watched the opening of the first one many times because it's so iconic.
And then you watched 4.
And I did watch 4. Yes.
4. I just feel like it has a tongue-in-cheekness and like a humor to it and like a 90s vibe that I really respond to.
Yes.
That even though it's gory and I feel about gore, I still am excited to see it. I'm not excited enough, again, like every other movie, to go see it in theaters because I don't think it's going to stream the day it's released, but I will wait, and when it is available to stream, I'll be watching it. I'm excited about it, and I just think it has its heart in the right place. Scream,
Yeah,
I've always thought it was a fun film.
Okay, it's heart in the right place.
Yeah,
That's
like it's like a funny. It's not.
It's very.
It doesn't take itself too serious.
Of course, yeah. Okay,
that's what I mean.
That's what to be like. The producers, they donate to great causes.
I mean, maybe I don't know that.
Well, the big question I have that's important to me is if there is a Scream 5 now, will there be a Scary Movie 5? Because that is what I'm on board for. The Wayans, I love the scary movies. The Wayans brothers need to make more movies. Like, where have they been? Let's go. I love the Wayans brothers movies. I think they're so funny.
I mean, but is Regina Hall too busy to be in them? Was she in all of the scary movies?
She was in all of them, yeah.
Wow.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's the role
you have to pay her a lot now.
Oh, of course. But like they will, because Brenda in Scary Movie is one of the best characters of all time.
I mean, come on.
Period. Point blank.
Are there 4 of those films?
There's 4 of them. Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe there'll be a 5th. Keep your fingers crossed.
I'm praying, guys.
There's a trailer. You might not have seen it, but Jonathan Van Ness is coming out with his own show called Getting Curious with JVN, or Jonathan Van Ness. And I just am very excited. I feel like JVN is such a light and such a joy, and their podcast is so enjoyable. And this is basically the video film TV version of the podcast, and I'm just excited to see it. I'm excited for JVN to be on our screens more often, so keep an eye out for that.
What's the concept?
The concept is him going around and like learning things. It's like, I don't know much about this. I'm going to try this out. I want to teach people things. I want to talk to people who are experts in fields that I know nothing about.
Okay.
And so it's called Getting Curious.
Trying new things.
Hey.
He's like you, doing Whole30 and seeing The Last Picture Show.
Yes, and well, I didn't say that. He said listening to The Weeknd. Let's get our story straight, girlies. So, but I'm excited for that. I'm still halfway through Queer Eye and loving it so far. And lastly, I must say something that made me laugh this week. The Elmo Rocco videos, hilarious.
Hilarious. But I have something to say.
Oh, here we go.
Guys, he screams that Rocco isn't alive.
Yeah.
Elmo's not alive either.
Wow.
So, I think Elmo is being a brat. And I think King Barney would have shut that temper tantrum down real fast.
You need to get over Barney, A.
That's like telling a Christian to get over Jesus.
That's like not the same. And B, Elmo is alive to us. You have to suspend your disbelief a little bit in watching the show. And Elmo is a part of the show as a spoken character who moves and interacts in the world. I thought for someone who was so young at heart, supposedly, would understand how children's television works. But clearly you're taking it very seriously. And he's not being a brat. That girl, she couldn't have his favorite cookie because of a rock? Unacceptable.
Look, I think if Elmo learned about sharing, then they could have split the cookie in half, and then they both could have had the cookie. Look, if Elmo's alive, then the damn rock's alive.
No,
okay.
false.
Look,
I cannot believe you're anti-Elmo. Who is anti-Elmo?
I just feel like,
of course, you just feel. Yes, go on, ma'am.
Elmo was throwing a bit of a temper tantrum, and he needed to learn about sharing. Barney has a great song about sharing.
Elmo, it's right,
and Elmo is not alive. See, Barney.
Wow.
Barney
Wow.
actively in the show. The premise of the show is Barney, as we know from the theme song, Barney is a dinosaur from our imagination.
But
Barney acknowledges he's not alive. He's from your imagination.
None of the Muppets acknowledge that they're not alive.
You mean the Sesame Street and Muppets?
Whatever.
Muppets are a different thing.
Potato, I don't care. What I care about is we all are to believe they are alive in our television screens, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Are you saying, well, Ricky Redmond's not alive? Let's, fuck him over too.
He's not.
Wow.
Guys, none of these people are real. At least Barney can acknowledge he's from your imagination.
Well, I cannot believe this.
Oh, well, first of all, I stand Barney every day, but but I just think Elmo was being a little bit of a brat.
I disagree.
And we can agree to disagree.
Having a reaction that every person would have. Zoe was being ridiculous. Like, you couldn't trade the cookie?
Look.
Why couldn't Zoe be like, yeah, Rocco likes chocolate chip too, whatever.
Look, if you were Rocco,
I'm not Rocco.
You would be very happy that you had a friend who was defending you. I just think if Elmo's alive, then that damn rock's alive.
Wrong. That is wrong.
I don't think it's wrong, because in the next episode, bet you next season of Sesame Street, Rocco's eyes are gonna pop out, mouth's gonna be open, and Sesame Street's gonna be like, you know what, the people are gonna share this rock coming to life, and suddenly being like, and Elmo suddenly being like, oh my God, Rocco, you're alive. How about we share the cookie?
We'll see how that all plays out. I don't foresee that. I believe Elmo is in the right, and I cannot believe you don't agree with me. This is the first feud of the year between us. Well, second, actually.
This isn't the first argument I've had about Barney versus Elmo either.
Do you about this specific Elmo situation?
No, not about this situation. Okay. No.
It's like, how often are you arguing?
I got into like a pretty vicious Twitter fight with I think Frankie or Charnel, because they were like, oh, Elmo has the best songs of any animated or like puppet character, and I was like, excuse me, Barney's hits way surpass Elmo's. And I was like, and he was like, oh no, but Elmo has the best collaborations and everything. And I was like, okay, can we say that maybe like Barney is the Beyonce and Elmo is maybe the Rihanna?
Oh my God.
Because I mean, Elmo has some great songs, but like there's I Love You, You Love Me. That is a #1 hit. That
I don't know
if it's,
I feel like
Clean up, everybody everywhere.
Right, well, clean up is great.
Yes.
Clean up is great. I Love You, You Love Me is like a Weird Al, like it's a joke.
I Love You, I Love You, You Love Me is like the national anthem.
No, it's not. It's like if you, the thing, it's crazy that it's just like 1.5 years, but if you were my age at the time, you're like, oh my God, what a fucking loser. Get over it, Barney.
No, I will never get over Barney.
Wow.
But would you, Barney is the Beyonce, Elmo is the Rihanna.
I'm not giving Barney Beyonce.
Barney is Beyonce. And the way, and as you can see, the way the Beehive worships Beyonce, the Barney stands worship
It seems
Barney.
like you're the last remaining Barney stand.
I am not. There's me and there's Demi Lovato.
All right, that's true. Wasn't Selena Gomez on that show too?
She was.
Good for her.
Hey, me
Great
and my
makeup. All right, let's take a break. There's no more we can say about this. We'll be back with more 2K Mats, the podcast.
Guys, I am looking at the waveforms on the computer in front of me that are mine. And this Barney Elmo discussion, my waveforms are so big. So I guess I was really loud.
You were very loud, yes. And we had to turn you down.
You know,
in the break.
I prefer to say passionate.
You said loud. You started with loud.
Okay. Well, we are on to Email My Heart. This is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions that you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at 2gaymats@gmail.com, 2 spelled TWO, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment in the YouTube video in the comment section.
Yes.
So first question comes to us from Kelly. Says, Christmas studs and duds. Hi, Matt and Matt. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I'm so sorry you didn't have any emails to read the last week on the podcast. I guess this was one that was sent the previous week.
That's funny.
I've been meaning to write in again, and that was my reminder. Thank you, Kelly.
That's very kind.
Not to give you work. You can absolutely tell me to fuck off. But I would love to hear a list of your top movies from this year, or maybe top movies ever, whatever you prefer. I feel like you've done both something along those lines before, but if you want to do an updated version, I always try to remember the movies you talk about in every episode.
Oh my gosh.
But there are so many. Anyways, to my question, I used to think Andrew Garfield was just blah attractive-wise, but after watching Tick, Tick, Boom twice now, I'm obsessed. I think he is gorgeous and amazing all around. Are there any actors, musicians, people in general that you've felt similarly about? Essentially, you weren't attracted to them until you experienced their talent, and now you're very into them? Sorry if you've already had this question. Thanks, Kelly. P.S. Matt Palmer, thank you for recommending 12 Dates of Christmas. It's so good.
It's amazing.
Hina is so hot, even though they're kind of evil, and I would date the leads, Amanda or Markel, if only in a second. Honestly, I loved everyone except the straight lead, who was just an absolute dud, in my opinion.
Hey, I'm with you. Andy made the wrong choice, Brooke forever. But anyway,
what a dud.
What a dud.
What a dud.
So Matt Steele, who are you into after seeing them perform?
So I don't think I have like a specific person to answer this question for, but I will say when I was younger, when I was like, you know, a teenager or like a child or whatever, and people were always like, oh, this musician's so hot, this musician's so hot, this musician's so hot. I never ever found musicians to be hot when I was like going through the puberty and everything. I was always like, there's nothing actually, like even like in, you know, In Sync and the Backstreet Boys, like the heyday of the boy bands and everything was when, you know, I was starting to blossom as a woman, and you would think that my hormones would be like, ooh, yes, all these guys dancing around me. I was always just like, nah, they don't do anything for me. Like, but actors I had crushes on. Like actors I actively had crushes on.
Okay.
But something about musicians, I was always like, they seem so fake and their personas seem so forced to me. I'm not attracted to it. But now I think musicians are hot. I mean, I still...
Who turned it for you? Who made the change?
I don't think there was ever like a change, but like, I don't know. I don't know when it happened, but I'm like, okay, yeah, now I get it. I mean, I look at Maluma and I'm like,
I mean, well, that's not even.
Oh, I remember when the Maluma Madonna song came out and I listened to it and I was like, yeah, this song is fine. It's whatever and everything. But then I saw that music video and I was like, this is my favorite song.
I honestly think that's the opposite of the question, where it's like you literally just saw him and that it's like his work made you unattracted to him, or like you didn't care, and then you saw him and you're like, wow, he's so talented.
Pure talent. Well, now because I see him and I'm just like, oh, the way he sings is just so smoldering.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I think it's not so much a person that really changed for me. It was, but like I was never attracted to musicians before. Now they are in my repertoire of people who I can be attracted to.
I think that's lovely.
But also like Andrew Garfield, the second I saw Andrew Garfield in The Social Network.
You were very into him.
Oh my God. Andrew Garfield in The Social Network is like, I love Andrew Garfield in this. Like, one of the hottest performances ever.
What does he do that's like hot?
I don't know.
He like yells at Justin Timberlake, which I mean, we should all find hot. I'm trying to think of one, and nothing is jumping to mind as far as people that I didn't find attractive. I usually like find people attractive or don't.
Okay.
Like, you know, and I like respect people's talent. Like it's like, you know, Louis Capaldi is very talented. What a voice on him. But like knowing that he is talented has not shaped my, you know, not attraction for him. You know what I mean?
I'm more attracted to guys, not necessarily like when I find out they're talented, but like if they're talking and like they're really nice. I'm like, oh.
I do like funny too. I like if someone is funny and
I need to be the funny one. No.
What? You don't like if someone else is funny? Yeah, you like a kind and like simple
sweet man. Not that I don't like funny guys, but I'm always kind of like, they're too funny.
No, I'm
like, what are they hiding?
I'm like, oh, look at that. Funny.
I don't know, I like a sweet, you know, kind gentleman.
I mean, I like kind too, but like, you can't be quiet. I don't like, I mean,
I love
everyone
quiet.
likes what they like. I like someone who can talk. I do. I like a talker.
I don't think I could be in a relationship with a guy who is too funny because, you know.
I thought you were going to say quiet. Of course, funny is what you can't do.
I could totally be in love with a mime.
God. I see you with a mime. I do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. If there are any mimes out there who are single.
And Tick, Tick, Boom, I will say, coming to mind of movies of last year might be my favorite.
Oh, Tick Tick Boom is my favorite movie of the year. Tick Tick Boom, West Side Story, The Green Knight, Mass are my top 4 of this year so far. There's still many that I have to see because I did not get to see movies while I was.
When did Luca come out? I liked that.
Luca was literally like 2 years ago. Like a year and a half ago.
Trying to think of movies I liked. I did like West Side Story.
Yes, and so, okay. All right. But Tick Tick Boom was, okay, taste all around.
Yes.
You, me, and Kelly.
Yes.
So the next question that we were going to answer was from Jessica. Jessica says, hi from the biggest Used to the Dark by Matt Palmer stan.
Oh, that's very nice.
Hi, Matt. I hope your holidays have been great. I wanted to email first to say, yes, I proclaim myself the biggest Used to the Dark by Matt Palmer stan. Truly, thank you for writing a song that has helped me through the many hard times I have faced recently and throughout 2021.
That is so very kind.
The whole The Good Parts album is genius, but especially Used to the Dark has become one of my most comforting songs I know. My question is to both of you, what are some songs that are truly the most comforting to you? Matt Steele, yes, you can most definitely include musicals coming from someone who went to musical theater-based high school. Ooh, Jess. Thank you for being you from a longtime viewer, Jess.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm so glad you like Used to the Dark.
I mean, it's a classic. I mean that pre.
I do.
Or no, the post. I'm so sorry.
How dare you?
You know what? And the pre.
And the pre. Yes, no, I like the song as well. I weirdly am always most soothed by like very sad songs, like sad song, like the one that comes to mind and the song that I always say if ever I'm like going down in a plane, I will play on my last moments.
Oh,
you have to have that song in mind because you never know when you're flying.
Okay.
Yeah. Outside by Mariah Carey.
Okay.
And it's like, the song is devastating. Like, truly, it's horrible. Like, not like it's a horrible song. It's just like an awful feeling. But the idea of someone feeling the way you do, even if it's in such a down moment, is like I feel like when you are in a depressed place, you kind of can at times think you're the only person who's ever felt the feeling you're feeling. And so to hear someone at the top of their game making like the best album that they will ever make and coming out of this horrible marriage feeling the way you do, even though from the outside it's like she looks like she's on top of the world, but she always feels like a little disconnected from everyone. For her, because of her biracial background, and for us, it's because of the gay. And I just feel like it, even though obviously I have made peace with my homosexuality, I feel like it's still the idea of someone being able to relate to you at that lowest moment. So like those like last song Mariah songs, like a Looking In.
Oh, I love Looking In.
Looking In is gorgeous. And Outside, those are my top 2. But I know you're a big Petals fan.
Oh, I mean Petals.
Which isn't the last.
Talk about comfort, darling.
Isn't the last song of the album, but is the last song in a way.
Okay.
I feel like songs like that would be the ones that I went to.
Okay.
What about you?
Sad Mariah Carey tracks.
And also Kelly Clarkson, Beautiful Disaster. Just to come.
Well, I mean,
acoustic live version, of course. Just like that brings peace.
Okay.
That brings peace.
All right.
Yeah, what about you, Matt Steele?
So I feel like songs that are most comforting to me are songs that remind me so much of my childhood. Like I Love You, You Love Me. No, I'm just kidding. But
have you seen my childhood?
Ooh. No, so songs that are or music that's very prevalent in my childhood. Obviously, musical theater. I grew up surrounded by musical theater. But the music that really, really brings comfort to me, I think, are the songs that my grandparents would play. And my grandparents loved Guys and Dolls, The Music Man, but my grandfathers, both of them especially, because they were both World War II vets, of course, they loved South Pacific. And so South Pacific to me, the score, besides the fact that, it's an absolutely brilliant score written by the greatest composers who have ever walked the face of the earth, Rodgers and Hammerstein. There's something so comforting, and I immediately think of home when I hear South Pacific, especially that original cast recording with Mary Martin and Indio Pinza, and so I immediately think of that when I think of comforting music. Also, the only prevalent pop music for a long time in my childhood that we owned was The Immaculate Collection by Madonna.
Classic.
So when my mom would just have that playing on loop from when I was 3 to 5 or 6 or whatever, and me and my brother would just dance in the kitchen to it. So whenever I hear any of those songs that are on The Immaculate Collection, I'm just like, Like Papa Don't Preach. I'm hearing about teenage pregnancy and I'm just like, I'm comforted.
I was just listening to the Kelly Osbourne cover of that song.
I mean, great song. And it's like why when I found out that you don't like La Isla Bonita, I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm so comforted by that song. Like there's something that just feels so warm. It feels like a hug. Open your heart. It's just like, I mean, that's pop perfection right there. Like that song is, I just am brought back to my childhood. So I feel like those are the songs that I find a lot of comfort in.
I mean, piggybacking off that, I do have songs like that, like a Desiree You Gotta Be. That's very much me and my family driving down to Natchez song and my mom putting that cassette in. I feel like Vanessa Williams, what's that? Save the Best for Last. Another classic.
I mean, that is a classic piece of music.
The sun goes around the moon. And then just another.
At first I was thinking Vanessa Carlton.
No.
And I was just like, she didn't sing Save the Best.
But speaking of Vanessa Carlton, any song with the title Home brings me to tears.
Oh, of course.
Vanessa Carlton's Home. The Dixie Chicks have a home. That's great.
And The Wiz.
Obviously, the Whitney Houston cover of Home from The Wiz. And the Jasmine Sullivan, like I'm an 8-year-old on stage singing Home and singing every run in the world. Unbelievable.
As a Stephanie Mills stan, I have to say Stephanie Mills. Also, that was the cast recording of The Wiz that I had.
Yeah.
You know, so. And Diana Ross's Home is excellent as well.
It?
Oh, it's so good. I love Diana Ross's Home as well.
All right. So
she's just crying through the whole thing. I love it.
All right, Matt, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What has been giving you moments, darling?
Okay, so obviously Oscar season's happening. We're going to give you another movie, ladies and gentlemen. I have one of two things that I'm going to talk about. So the movie that I saw when I came back to LA because I felt behind because the AMC 24 that was like blocks away from my house in New Jersey closed during the pandemic. So I couldn't see any movies during my 2 weeks in New Jersey.
How did you feel about that?
I was stressed.
Okay.
Because I'm just like, I'm behind. I saw The Last Daughter, I saw The Lost Daughter starring Olivia Coleman, Jessie Buckley, Dakota Johnson is also in it. And it is, I'm not going to like really say much of what it's about. It's about a woman who is vacationing in Greece and she becomes obsessed with the child of this young woman who she sees. And she basically has a bit of a reckoning with her past as a mother. And that's all I will say about that.
All right.
And it is very much a slow burn. It is directed by the owner of the home in which Taylor Swift lost her virginity, Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I don't think that's true. Lost her virginity.
Hey, who's
she was so mad at John Mayer. I think that happened, but go on.
Okay, well, either she lost her virginity there or she really left her scarf there.
I think she really left her scarf.
And so it's really, really, really great. Really fascinating. Olivia Coleman gives such a tour de force performance. Like she is, and it has established herself as the most interesting leading lady we have today. I feel just the roles she picks, the way she does them is so fascinating and just a fascinating career. Because who can you pick? Who can you name that is a woman in her 40s who has like emerged as a leading lady in her 40s? Not as like, oh, I started as an ingenue, now we're building up to like an older age, but like who started in her 40s.
That's true.
As a big star leading lady. Like you can't name them right now in these days. Olivia Coleman is that actress and she's just really fantastic. Probably like the most interesting character in a movie this year, I feel. Jessie Buckley. We love Betty Buckley too. But Jessie Buckley is really, really fantastic. She's now like emerged as a contender for Best Supporting Actress, which this year I have no idea who's getting nominated because it's so competitive. Literally 3 months ago, Ann Dowd was the front runner. Now she might not even get nominated.
Wow.
Who knows? But yeah, I encourage you all to see it. It's really, really a really interesting movie. But what gave me moments, and this is cheating because this didn't happen in the past week. But guys, I saw my first Broadway show in 3 years since 2018. Obviously, the first one since the pandemic. Yeah, I saw Caroline or Change on Broadway. It was not canceled the day I got to see it. I don't think they've canceled any performances. Caroline or Change. It just closed today, actually. It was a limited run. Caroline or Change, I talk about it all the time, is one of my absolute favorite musicals ever to be written. And I'm so honored that I got to see the original production in 2004. I saw the closing performance and this revival. This revival was so good. The staging was so interesting. There was so much movement, and it was just constant movement and a flow that was just so gorgeous to watch. Sharon Clarke was so amazing as Caroline. She was there. Tanya Pinkins originated the role, and she really showed the rage that Caroline had. But I feel like Sharon Clarke really showed just the exhaustion of this woman so beautifully. All of the performances were great. If you don't know Caroline or Change, please listen to one of the 2 incredible cast recordings that are now available. I love this show so much, and I think this is my first show where I saw the original production on Broadway and a revival
that
of
is
it
pretty amazing.
Broadway. So I am now old.
That's what happened. Yes.
But yeah, I'm just so happy that I got to see it, and I have a couple friends who were like co-producers on it.
Oh my gosh,
so
that's awesome!
Congratulations to them.
Yes.
And I'm just I can't talk enough about how much I love this musical. I talk about it enough on 2 Gay Mats, but I'm just so happy that I got to see it. I wish I got to see more Broadway shows while I was there, but maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really wonderful just to be back in New York. Granted, like we drove up there. We didn't take the train this time, but like we drove up there, hopped out of the car, like double masked, and then hopped back in the car.
Wow.
So we didn't really get to walk around New York, but it was great being back in New York, and it was great seeing one of my favorite shows in a great production on the Broadway.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was very happy.
Good for you. Well, for me, I only have a few scattered things, nothing really serious or big, but I feel like, and I don't even know if it's giving me moments because it just was like deeply upsetting.
Okay. It was giving you an upsetting moment?
It's giving me an upsetting moment. Ooh. It is. Okay. I don't know if there are probably some Bravo people on the watching or listening to us right now. Portia Williams from Housewives of Atlanta has her spinoff show, which is basically about like how she married that man who was married to her former cast member on Housewives of Atlanta. And this is a spinoff show basically like, I'm trying to blend my family, like so my baby daddy and his family and my family all come together and become one and all of this. And so they all are on this trip and they're trying to get along, and all this stuff comes out, and they keep like going over the fact that while Portia was pregnant, Dennis cheated on her. But Dennis's mom is also at the table and very much like, well, why are we talking about that? Why are we still talking about that? And I don't know how it escalates into a physical altercation, but of course it does. And I feel like
between who?
But that's the question.
Oh,
like,
so this is coming up.
It came. The thing is, it was to be continued, and then it was continued tonight. I haven't watched the full episode tonight. I just watched the continuation of the fight. It was. I feel like people may be talking about this, but it's not as loud as the Potomac stuff because, it's a spinoff show of Housewives. It's not like a real full season. It is more upsetting than anything I've seen on a Housewife. It's like Portia's throwing plates and silverware at people and like hitting crew members, knocking down boom mics. Like, I don't know if she was going for Dennis's mother. I don't know if she was trying to get Dennis. I don't know what's happening. But for a person that I have touted, I'm sure on this podcast is like, I'm so happy to see her growth. I'm so happy she's evolved. She was violent in the past, and now she is so, an advocate for Black Lives Matter. And that's all true. And this doesn't take away from that. But I don't know if she's grown as much as I thought. Okay. She, for a woman who's starring in her own spinoff show, she certainly is coming across as the villain.
Well, do you think she's trying to do this because it's like, ooh, this will get people watching my show?
No, it's such a bad look. Like, because it's not like, it's me versus the Housewives. Like, these are her family members. She's
that's rough.
Physically attacked. Like, there's no way to spin how this is coming across for her to look good. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just, I will watch the rest of it. I liked Portia so much more before the show came out. Like she, episode after episode is like just being really petty about ridiculous things. Like she's so mad that Dennis brought a girl to this family retreat thing or whatever. But it's like, you're engaged to someone else. Why do you care? And then after all of this, it's just like, I want her to go back to therapy. I want her to talk to someone. Like it's not all good over there.
Well, look, good things can happen. Maybe there can be a spin-off show about Portia going to therapy, which you would watch the fuck out of.
I love nothing more than a therapy session on television. So yes, I would watch that. it just broke my heart, and like it was upset. It just was upsetting to watch.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of other things. The Insecure post finale, like they did an hour-long documentary about the making of Insecure, and especially like filming the final season, and hearing from all the people and the players, the people that were involved in the creation and like of this show and like the filming of season 5. It just seems like such a lovely working environment, which I think Janie touched on last week because she knows some people that worked on the show and said it is as wonderful as it sounds. But it's like, I believe 7 of the original writers are now like showrunners or the head writers in other shows right now. It's just like their whole thing was about like uplifting people and giving them their next opportunities and like opening doors for people. It just is like the most loving and wonderful environment. I'm so sad the show is over, but I'm so glad it catapulted so many people. I can't wait to see what she does next. She has a show called Rap Shit coming out soon on HBO, and I can't wait to watch that. But I could highly, highly recommend the documentary. I think it's just called Insecure, The End. And it just is an hour-long peek behind the curtain, and it's so feel good. And she's so wonderful, and the people around her are so wonderful. The director who worked with Beyonce, who directed a lot of Insecure, Melina, is so funny. She's so too cool for school. And like, she was called in for an interview and only done music videos up until this point. Was called into an interview with Issa and like the other HBO executives, and like was like zooming in from home, like her parents' house, and like the Wi-Fi was bad and she didn't prepare anything.
That's funny.
And Issa was like, wait, what was that? Like, I don't understand what this was. But then Melina was like, but then I was like, yeah, this does seem really cool. so I made a whole PowerPoint, a whole deck, and a whole like, you know, like, what do they call that you have to make for your movies?
Like a pitch deck, or
not
like
a pitch deck,
a
like a
lookbook.
lookbook. And she came back with all this, and it's like, well, why didn't you do that the first time? Like, I'm so confused. But whatever, it all worked out, and it gave us the beautiful show we have, and one that I will cherish and miss for all of time. It just is like the opposite feeling I got from Portia's show is what I get from this documentary.
All right.
So,
well,
I love that.
And I have to say, like, as someone who never watched Insecure, I feel like the way it seems like they marketed, they really gave the fans like things that they wanted. Like, there's this documentary about the ending, and I feel like there were a lot of like shows talking about Insecure that HBO would air and everything to like promote the show and everything, because they knew that the fans loved it so much, and so they gave them more and more content and everything. It's like Insecure. 2 Gay Mats is like the Insecure of online.
Sure.
Because, you know, we're like YouTube show, podcast, listening party.
We're trying to give you everything we can, and I appreciate that. And yes, it just seems like it almost felt like to me they didn't realize how big of a hit it was going to be. And I love that it became gigantic, and that we're going to get so much more, you know, TV and film and art from these incredible people. So can't wait. I'm still sad, but I can't wait.
That's how we all feel at this point. We are sad, but we can't wait. We
can't wait
for whatever we can't wait for. But we're still sad.
We're still sad.
We can't wait. That's the best way to describe the beginning of 2022. Sad, but can't wait.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Matt Steele, is there anything else we've got to tell the people?
I don't think so.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. We'll be back next week with more 2 Gay Mats, the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.